Hello everybody, it's Penny Shelton here, and today is Sunday, October 17th. As you all know, I don't typically make videos on Sunday, but I have a little window of opportunity here today, and I wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update on Dave the Raw Food Trucker and Tresa and what's been going on with them. I mean, a lot of you have been really keeping up with them as much as you can via well, I mean, obviously I did a lot of YouTube updates in that very beginning stage when he was in the hospital and getting released from the hospital with a stroke and the heart attack. And then the saga of them trying to get from Southern California up to Seattle so that they could be there and plugged in for the International Day of Juice Feasting, the second annual. So that all happened. And I mean, Dave's been kind of like the Energizer Bunny, because really the average ordinary person who had just had a heart attack or stroke would be plugged into a rehabilitation type scenario. They wouldn't be out doing all the things that he's been doing. And a lot of it's not necessarily all been by choice. It's just been the nature of what's been going on. So, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. You do what you have to do, right? So that's what's been going on. So they were in Seattle for a while, staying with friends, and then went down to Portland last weekend for the, they did a big meetup there in the Portland area, which was really great. I understood that it just was a real big success. And then they had the opportunity to get to spend a couple of days with a couple outside of Portland, and they were able to just get a couple of days of good quality rest and rejuvenation. But they're back on the road again. I mean, I don't know if you all realize this or not, but Dave basically lived out of his truck. I mean, that's just where he had everything. I mean, he drove a truck 24/7 and he would sleep in the cab, and I mean, that's just been Dave's life for quite a while. So now that he's unable to drive the truck, doesn't really have a hub. He doesn't really have a home base, so to speak. And Teresa's in the same situation, and so here they are together right now. They're in their car, and they're traveling down from, they started Seattle, and they're traveling down kind of along the coastal area. I think they're now into California a little bit. And they're basically on a mission to find a couple of things. To find a place that they can afford to call a home base, a work base, a place where they can actually put some roots down, get plugged in. There's just so much that, I mean, their life has not really been stable ever since this happened. So they need to get their lives stabilized, as you can imagine. I don't know what it would be like to not have a home base. Some of you have been in that situation. You know it's difficult, it's challenging. And then Dave really, honestly, still needs to be under the watchful care of a physician that is going to be open to his 100% raw food diet, and to continue to heal his body from the effects of what's happened with the stroke and heart attack, as well as, just getting himself off of the additional medications that he's had to be on. And Dave is really following his gut instinct and leading, as Tresa is as well. And so they're just on this mission, seeking to find where they're going to be based out of. And so I could hear some tiredness in their voice, but I also heard a lot of animation and joy and excitement about knowing and really trusting the living life force, as they call it, to see them to the place where they need to be. So, as we've done before, and we continue to pray and send our well wishes, for those of you who are into candle lighting, it wouldn't be a bad idea to keep the candles burning for these two as they are trying to get established. And what I hope to do once they do get plugged in a place is I hope to be able to fly out to wherever they are and work with them a little bit on helping them get really plugged in and connected well on the internet, because this is not a real area of expertise. Obviously, for Dave. Dave's just now really has gotten an email address for the first time in his whole life. And so that was probably the other big focus of the phone call, was I felt that they're both carrying kind of a little bit of a burden, because they're so overwhelmed with the love and correspondence that has come in from everybody. They have read everything. They have watched every video that was done for the Candlelight Vigil, and they're just in awe and they can't even believe all the outpouring that's happened. But as you can imagine, their internet connection is only as good as wherever they are, if they even have internet connection. So it's not always easy for them to get plugged in, and then when they are, they maybe only have an hour or two at a time to be able to access everything. So what you can expect is an occasional Facebook update from Dave, and he occasionally will be able to maybe leave a message here and there, or maybe a wall post for people, but it's going to be inconsistent. I would say probably for another several months until they can get situated. And so on their behalf, I want to just ask that those of you who've been corresponding with them would just be understanding to the fact and not have your feelings hurt if they're not responding back to your emails. I mean, that's the biggest thing is that they so deeply appreciate it. And I didn't get the feeling at all that they want people to stop corresponding with them. They just felt the burden, and I just said, don't worry about it. Do not, like when my daughter was in the car accident, I got way over 1,000 emails, and the majority of those I was unable to respond to because those were just in addition to the other hundreds of emails I get every day. So we do the best we can, right? But I did share with them that, we're all there. We're loving them. There's many of us are doing what we can to support and send donations. Financially, I'm very concerned about them, just between myself and all of you who happen to be watching. I mean, Dave does have health insurance, but when you're looking at way over $100,000 worth of medical bills just at this point that he knows of, and you've got a high deductible, plus you're going to be paying at least 20% of that, and not employed right now. He does not have any source of income, and he's not going to have a source of income for at least 6 months. It could be as long as a year. And I just wonder, I always say this when I talk to him, I'm like, I wonder if this is God's way of moving you away from truck driving. I mean, even though he's Dave the raw food trucker, maybe he's not going to be Dave the raw food trucker 6 months to a year from now. Maybe there's a new plan for his life, and we don't know what that is, and he doesn't know what that is either. But as a man who's always been financially stable and able to take care of himself, I'm sure this is a very challenging time. And Tresa has been just like, they had all these plans to work together and help support one another, and they had just gotten a website that they weren't even ready to launch yet. They were just at the very baby infantile stages of getting plugged in on the internet, and then this happened. So we don't know why things happen the way they do, but the fact of the matter is they love you guys so much. And Dave was sharing with me that he and Tresa had gone into a grocery store. I'm not exactly sure where they were, somewhere in Northern California, and a fellow stopped them and was sharing with them about how raw food rehab and this raw food lifestyle hasn't just been a help to him, but it's actually saved his life. And of course, I don't know who that person is. I don't know their name. I don't know anything else. But Dave was apparently so moved by this dialogue. This person came up and introduced himself. Dave had no idea, I don't think, who it was. But Dave went back to their little Motel 6 or wherever they were staying that night and had Tresa help him get on raw food rehab, and he is now a member of our community officially, even though he still doesn't really know how all these social sites work. But they are our tribe. They're our family, and I feel it. And those of you who have had any interaction with either one of them know that they are part of our posse, and we just need to keep that love flowing. Your prayers, your thoughts, your well wishes. Dave has a bright future ahead. I feel it in my spirit. I just know that there's a calling on his life to go out and help people heal their lives, heal their hearts, and heal their lives. And I just think that sometimes we have to go through these different things to get us to that place where we need to be to move to that next level, that next step. And I really think that that's what's going on with them. So guys, feel free, any comments that you have, any thoughts that you'd like to share moving on. If you have any questions for Dave, feel free to put them underneath this video, because our goal is to talk every week moving forward, that Dave and Tresa and I will talk. So if there's something really super important that you would like to communicate with him, obviously, or whatever, I'll do the best I can to try to keep that communication flowing. I think it'll take some pressure off of them right now while they're trying to get established. So guys, I love you, and I appreciate all of the love that has come from this community into their life. It's made unbelievable difference. And I know that we're going to keep our focus and keep doing this as we're moving forward. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye.